everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. We are back with another rendition of dumb stuff I saw on TikTok this month. These are proving to be my most popular videos recently. That's all I have to say about that. Also, it's really hot, but it's kind of loud, so I'm gonna close this window. I feel like I've talked about this so much, but I was recently on a 3-week vacation, so I did miss like 3 weeks of stuff happening on the internet. A number of these videos were actually sent to me from other people. I just didn't have a lot of time in the last month to like do a lot of scrolling. So we're gonna go through, I've categorized these 10 different videos that were either sent to me or I came across, and we're just gonna break them down. My. I swear 20 plus people sent me this. And honestly, I actually don't have a big issue with it. Do I think that people need to be moving or training this way? No, please don't. Please don't. But I think that it's honestly so ridiculous that I truly don't see people actually trying to replicate this. It also didn't seem like she was selling this to anybody or like selling this in a program. It just kind of seemed like hey, here's all my fun party tricks and I'm just gonna share them with you. And honestly, like, good for her. So I have no issue with it. We're off to a fun start.
Put it quite frank, I'm gonna show you the way. Why you flexing?
Okay, well, I have a problem with this. Being short does not inherently mean that your body functions any differently from anybody else's. And there are people, this creator included, who sell petite programs for petite women because we need to train differently because we're so small and so petite and we're so fragile and we need to be strong but in a different way than other people. It's such bullshit. I'm 5'1". I don't need to train any differently from anybody else. The only big difference for me is that if I need to get an attachment on the lat pull down, I need to stand on the bench to get there. That's it. Look, people who sell programs like this, their program might be great. Like, it might be a great program, but you shouldn't have to create a problem to gain an audience. You should be solving a problem that already exists. And let's read these claims. If you're 5'4" and shorter, there's 8 reasons why you're not toning up. First of all, I've talked about it endlessly. Credible coaches don't use the word toning. It actually doesn't really mean anything. If an everyday person or a client comes to me with a toning goal, I don't have an issue with that because you're not selling that to me, right? But coaches using the word toning just tells me that you either don't know what you're talking about or you don't care that you're using a buzzword that means nothing. Anyway, number 1, slowed metabolism from long-term dieting. That could be literally anyone. That does not apply to just people 5'4" and under. Not enough muscle mass, aka skinny fat. That could be anybody. Also, I'm gonna do a whole video on this skinny fat thing because it annoys me. Number 3, not doing workouts tailored to shorter body type. Tell me, what does that look like? How should I be training differently than anybody else? What does that mean? Number 4, overdoing cardio. That could be anybody. Number 5, not using progressive overload with weights. That could be anybody. Number 6, not getting sufficient protein intake. That could be anybody. Number 7, not getting enough sleep and high stress. That could be anybody. Number 8, not giving it enough time, 12 weeks minimum. That could be anybody. These apply to everybody. They're just pasting on an audience that they want to attract and making a problem out of literally nothing. Let's move on. We're just throwing random numbers up here, aren't we? Okay. Sprint training burns 92% more body fat than plain old cardio and 40% more than HIIT training. It's like a math equation here. Okay, there's a lot to break down. So let's try to define what I'm assuming this person is talking about. So sprint training is gonna be like your all-out max. So that's gonna be like, let's say you're 90 to 100% of your max heart rate or max effort. Then we've got plain old cardio. What the fuck is that? Like, is that zone 2? Let's go on that. So that's gonna be like 60 to 70% of your max heart rate. And then HIIT training. So that's gonna be more like zone 4. So that's gonna be more like 80 to 90% of your max heart rate or max effort. So they're basically saying that with a higher heart rate, you'll burn more calories in the moment. Okay, Probably. Do you know the best way to burn body fat? Being in a caloric deficit. It's actually the only way to lose body fat. I typically recommend to people focusing less on the exercise calories burned and more on adjusting your nutrition to get into a caloric deficit. There's two big reasons for this. Number one, just from like a total daily energy expenditure perspective, your exercise really does not use a lot of energy during your day compared to your metabolic rate. It's also just much easier to focus on adjusting what you're eating rather than what you're expending in terms of a control factor. The other part of it too, and I hear this so much from my own clients, I dealt with this in the past, but the more that you focus on exercise only being a way to burn calories or lose energy out of the body, it creates a very negative connection between movement and calorie burn. Like a lot of times people tend to see, oh, I'm only exercising to burn calories, and then exercise is this horrible thing that I have to do when I want to lose weight. And if we can change that mindset, it's going to make things like exercise, things like movement, things like even our nutritional choices a lot mentally healthier in the long run. I don't know if that was English, but you get what I'm saying. So I have a number of videos all about like if you want to lose fat or you have a weight loss goal. They're old, so the quality's probably not great, but they do stand up. Maybe I will remake them in the future. And then, yeah, toned and snatched by the summer. These are buzzwords that mean absolutely nothing, but I would expect probably nothing more from a ladder coach.
Drove the gates, feeling anxious around 12 a.m. Just move, but might move it all out again. It's feel like deja vu.
It's actually hilarious to me when coaches are like, well, yeah, you need to try my progressive overload program because then you'll finally be able to get some results. And it's like, yeah. Literally, like the first thing you learn in any bare minimum basic like CPT or personal training course is like, you need progressive overload in your programming. Like, it's the bare fucking minimum. So I have a whole video all about like progressive overload and what progressive actually means, the different ways that you can interpret it. But the bare minimum here is like, you need to repeat the same exercises. And over time, again, there's many variables that you can adjust with progressive overload, but bare minimum is like, you should be adding weight and reps and maybe even sets over time, because that's how you're actually going to see change, because your body needs time to get good at something and actually adapt and grow and change. So if you're not utilizing that in the program, what are you doing? Like, are you just putting together random workouts? Like, yeah, of course you're not going to have specific results like glute growth unless you're following something specific. Random exercises produces random results. Another piece of nonsense that was sent to me. So this creator claims, just me trying to tell the girls that if you eat real food like chia seeds, lean meats, and leafy greens and activate your parasympathetic nervous system, you'll lose inches in your stomach in just a few weeks. Oh my goodness. Just trying to tell the girlies. Okay, first of all, what is real food? I guess it's chia seeds, lean meats, and leafy greens. So I guess real foods to her means minimally processed foods. Most foods that we eat nowadays are some degree of processed. It is a spectrum. Being a processed food does not inherently make it bad or worse for you. And you can't like control when you activate your nervous system. And let's break this down really quickly. So we have our sympathetic and our parasympathetic nervous system. Your sympathetic nervous system is in charge of like fight or flight. And then your parasympathetic nervous system basically like brings you down to like a state of more calm. Like it restores your body to like neutral. A good example of like your parasympathetic nervous system, whenever I work with clients who have like a really high stress day or, are just like a little more stressed out in general, I will typically have them do some type of foam rolling, breathing, just like lower stakes movement at the beginning of the workout. Because if we think of our stress as like a bucket, if you come in with like your stress up really high, we just want to like decrease that bucket a little bit. That's your parasympathetic nervous system, right? So she's saying that if you eat real foods or minimally processed foods, you will activate your parasympathetic nervous system. That's very misleading. You can't activate it. It's not how it works. And then if you do that, you'll lose inches in your stomach in just a few weeks. Also, just literally not how it works. Nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. Okay, before we jump into this one, this is my friend Erica. I was actually away when the whole carnivore MD scandal dropped, so I didn't have time to even react to it, ingest it. I saw this like way after, so I'm gonna let Erica speak on this because I think she did a great job.
Wow, did hell just freeze over, or are people finally starting to catch on? Watch this.
About 2 years into the carnivore diet, I started noticing persistence of unpleasant symptoms. So testosterone dropped to around 500 total, sleep disturbances, palpitations, muscle cramps when I was surfing or climbing. And I started to think, okay, maybe long-term ketosis is not great for me. Probably not a great thing for most humans.
If you don't know who this is Paul Saladino. He is the Carnivore MD. He has built an entire platform and business around promoting carnivore. I appreciate that he is being honest and finally coming out and saying this, but the reality is this is a big problem. This is why it is so important to not fall for extreme bullshit like this with over-the-top claims of magical benefits that you could probably get if you just learned how to eat a balanced diet and build nutrition skills and actually address the root of why you're struggling with your nutrition. Because 9 times out of 10, things like carnivore won't be the answer and could very well be doing more harm than good. Same with keto. Same with most restrictive diets and magical methods that you see on the internet. And this is why it is so important to have a bullshit detector for people who are promoting dangerous things. And if someone is telling you that you need to cut out major food groups or vegetables, that is a huge red flag. And you probably shouldn't be trusting them with health and fitness.
The only thing I'm going to add to this that Erica did not put in this video, but I've seen other people talk about it. This man is still selling his book about this method of eating that made him sick. So
I really believe that the devil still uses food in order to attack God's people. If you are someone who is not able to control your appetite, trust and believe that the devil is using food to try to kill, steal, and destroy you. Just like he did with Adam and Eve, he has no new tricks, and trust me, the devil still uses food to attack Christians. I grew up with my family eating these bad foods, and then we all have the nerve to say, oh, diabetes runs in the family. Oh, high cholesterol runs in the family. No, the eating habits run in the family. And if we don't change the eating habits, then that's when sickness continues to run in the family. God has a specific diet plan for you. You want to know how I know? Because it's found in the Bible, and it's found in Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. And a lot of Christians don't like me to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. God originally put us on a raw vegan diet. I didn't say it. It's found in the Bible, Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. God originally called us to eat fruits and vegetables, and that's it. Meat and cheese and dairy and bread and all that stuff didn't come into the world until sin and death entered into the world. I believe that the devil also uses food to attack us because he doesn't want us fasting. Powerful strongholds are broken when we fast. And Proverbs chapter 23 verse 2 says, and put a knife to your throat if you were someone that is given to appetite. And when we are able to control our appetite, that is when Satan truly has no ability to attack us through food.
I'm going to be very careful here. First of all, didn't Jesus turn water into wine? Didn't he also make a bunch of fish? He multiplied fish and multiplied a lot of bread. I went to Catholic school. You can tell I didn't keep up with it. So there's that. Also, to blatantly ignore years and years of controlled studies and just science in general because a book that may or may not have been written by men tells you to.
Walk out the door in my little black dress. Been a long day and I need to de-stress. Sun sets behind downtown skyline.
She's back. Okay, low-key, this video pisses me the fuck off. Let's break it down. POV, you realized your lower belly wasn't stubborn at all. You were just doing the wrong exercises. So, spot reduction? I actually just made a whole video breaking down what spot reduction is, but let's break it down again very quickly. Spot reduction is the idea that if you do certain exercises targeting a certain area of your body, it will cause the fat in that area to disappear. Unfortunately, years and years of controlled studies have showed us that that is not really how the body works. If you are doing, let's say, lower belly exercises, so abdominal exercises, that's going to strengthen and build your abdominal muscle fibers because that's what resistance training does. It works your muscle fibers. It actually does not have any targeted impact on your fat tissue in your lower belly. The way that we lose fat is by being in a negative energy balance or a caloric deficit, and your genetics are going to determine where where you lose or store body fat from first and last and all of that. Watch that other video if you want to learn more. Now, of course, if someone calls out Jo for a video like this, she usually responds with something like, I have a degree in kinesiology and I know what I'm talking about and I never said spot reduction. So the fact that you are just reading into it like that says something about you. Okay, it's very implied here, especially as we get to the rest of the video, with her literally doing like just ab crunches and toe taps and weird hip mobility stuff. It's implied that that's what you mean. And she's smart and she knows it. Secondly, the baby. Why are you holding your baby in this, ma'am? Oh, is it because you're targeting mothers, new mothers, people who don't have the same body, especially in the abdominal region post-pregnancy? Because, I don't know, they carried and pushed out a whole ass human out of their body. Like, yeah, of course your body's not gonna look the same after that. To me, this is very predatory and it's purposeful. It's purposely vague enough so that she can go, oh, I didn't mean spot reduction. It's purposely vague enough so she can go, oh, I just love holding my baby and I love having my baby next to me when I'm working out. It's manipulative, it's predatory, and I don't care how nice this woman seems, she knows what she's doing, especially because she has gotten enough feedback that that is how the information she puts out is actually being interpreted, but she continues to spill it no matter what. I know a lot of you like Jo. She's manipulating you.
Can we address the biggest scam on this earth that is Club Pilates? I paid probably $25 to $28 per class to pretty much stretch. I never broke a sweat and I was in the 1.5 class. If I wanted to move up to the 2 class, I had to like pass a test with the instructor. Like, seriously, I'm paying this much money and I can't even go work out the way I want to work out. And that is if I could even get into the class because the bookings were always so full. I've been doing solid core now for 3 weeks. And when I tell you, I have seen more in my 4 classes than I have in 4 months at Club Pilates. I have to put on a workout set, leave my house, get in my car, drive there, work out for 45 minutes, an hour. I want to feel like I just like changed my body chemistry. I want to feel like I'm training for the army. I get the Pilates shakes every time. I go on ClassPass because it's cheaper. Literally already seeing results. Like 2 weeks ago, I did not have this like ab line.
I do actually feel bad for this girl because she's getting like torn up in the comments, but the only thing that I want to point out here is that solid core is not Pilates. And I feel like that gets misconstrued a lot. I actually used to work at a Megaformer studio. If you've been here since pre-COVID, you know that. And one of the biggest things we talked about is like, we're not Pilates. I've made a whole video on Pilates that has proven very lucrative. But Pilates is an actual method that was created by a man named Joseph Pilates. And solid core and Megaformer workouts, they actually most of them stem from this method called Legree, which is basically like Pilates without the method behind it. And then Legree kind of formed these other subsets of Megaformer classes, which are basically just like more intense. Like she said, you're going to feel like you're training for the army. Like it's just a more intense experience. Different. I'm not saying that intense is better. I'm not saying that less intense is better. I'm just saying these are all different things. So that's the point I wanted to make. Now we all know. Another workout that is not Pilates. I've talked about this creator before. She is annoying because she makes the wildest claims and has nothing to back it up, and a lot of followers. Okay, so the only Pilates strength workout you need to do for results. This is the part that I want to talk about. Results. What does results mean? Most of the time, people, especially marketing to women, which I've talked about before, results people assume means weight loss or skinny or toned or whatever the heck you want to put in there. And that's a fine goal. I don't have any issue with a weight loss goal, but to just put us all in one group is really annoying. A lot of us just want to get stronger or want to work on a skill or just want to like live long. So even if people ask me like, will this work or will this give me results or is this the best? I can't answer that because I don't know what your goals are. If your goals are weight loss, I'm going to tell you it doesn't really matter what you do for your workout. I'm going to tell you to focus on nutrition and sleep first. And then people don't like that, but oh well. My foot's falling asleep. I have to sit on my foot because otherwise I'm too short. This is going well. Okay, we're done. That's the end. I have shorts, don't worry. That's the end of the video. If you like this content, please let me know. I'm trying to make one of these every month. If you see anything ridiculous on the internet, please send it to me because I'm trying to cut down on my scrolling time. So if you can do it for me, that'd be great. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and I will see you all in the next one.